Good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Dee Brown. I am a correspondent for Houston Life, and I'm also an ambassador for Oprah Magazine. So it is such an honor and pleasure to be with you all here on tonight. Now, we welcome you to the Winston Contemporary Art Gallery. Now, there are so many amazing things that makes this gallery so special. One being that it is Black owned right here in H-Town, and it supports the work of local artists. We are celebrating its 1-year anniversary, and in the last year, so many great things have taken place, including several art exhibitions, including the one that you see that is posted throughout by artist Rico Edwards here. And the name of the exhibit is called The Problems We Still Face. All right. All right, so now, tonight, you are in for a real treat, you guys. For the first time, we present a conversation with, which is the first of many to come, where we will feature candid talk with different guest speakers. Now, without further ado, I present to you the founder, the visionary of WCA, Mr. Kevin C. Watson. I love it.
Well, thank you everyone for coming out. It's a really nice crowd. Good-looking crowd. Makes me feel good. Just a little backstory. We came up with the idea of opening the gallery. You know, it was born out of a budding interest in art, as far as buying art, going to art galleries and museums, and got to a point where, you know, there's only so much art that you can buy. And I had become friends with some artists, so the next step was to create a space where we could house and display the art, and that's where we are now. So, like she was saying, we have Rico Edwards on display right now. His show will be up until Sunday, so, you know, take it in.
Get back. Make sure you see you.
Right. And I'll pass it back to you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Kevin. So the next that I will introduce is serving as our moderator on tonight for tonight's conversation. Now, she is a Houston native and no stranger to the city. She is a graduate of my alma mater, Texas Southern University. Represent. She has won, y'all, hold on, y'all gotta work with me because there's a lot I gotta read, okay? She has won 5 Grammy Awards, 16 Stellar Gospel Music Awards, 4 of the Gospel Music Association's Dove Awards, 1 American Music Award, 7 NAACP Image Awards, 1 Soul Train Music Award, and 5 BET Awards. She is also the creator of skincare line Simply Yolanda, and she is the designer of her very own handbag collection. She is the host of the Yolanda Adams Morning Show. Please stand to your feet and give a warm welcome for Miss Yolanda Adams. I know y'all can do better than that. Okay, let's give her one more time. Let's give her a round. Okay, Kevin, now I'm gonna toss it back over to you, and you're gonna actually introduce our lady.
So everyone came to see Lady Mae, huh?
Yes!
Well, she's more than Lady Mae to me. She's a good friend. She was actually one of the biggest supporters in me going into this venture, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate her doing this. So without further ado, the forever elegant Miss Lynn Whitfield.
Hello, beautiful. How are you?
well, we had our conversation in the green room.
We did have our conversation in the
I
green
am doing so well.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna let them kind of like sit in on what we do all the time.
Okay.
Just, hang out.
I love it.
Yeah, I have, and you know how much I love you, but I have loved you for so long. I've watched you from my living room, from the big screen, from the small screen. I've enjoyed your talent, and I always talk about your light and your life.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, hello.
I always talk about your light and your life because people look at folks like you who are just in the limelight all the time. We've seen your talent go from one point of stardom to like always on our televisions on Mondays. Of course, we now know May. Lady May, who should be, I'm not gonna tell you how to write Greenleaf, but if I had my way, they really need to, So I'm only kidding. So there are things that we see from afar that you have experienced in your life that have prepared you for Lady May. You grew up in Baton Rouge.
Yes.
You went to Howard University, graduated. Ain't you? And you became this presence that we now know as the Lynn Whitfield.
I don't know. I think my daughter Grace would say, "The Lynn Whitfield, really?"
Well, to us, anybody else feel like that? She is the Lynn Whitfield. When we think of Lynn, if somebody says, "Oh yeah, Lynn was here," oh, Lynn Whitfield? That's the first name that, you don't think Lynn Johnson. Who is Lynn Johnson, right? No, I'm just kidding. No, but that's who we think of. We think of Lynn Whitfield, the matriarch, the Josephine Baker.
Hold up on the matriarch. Let's talk about the bananas. That's exactly what I said. The Josephine Baker. I'll tell you what, though. Here's the thing. You start out and you're the ingenue, right? And then you move on and, you're the wife of someone. First part, you're who are you going to date? Then you're somebody's wife. And then you become somebody's mother. And then in Greenleaf, when I'm like the likes of Jacob, I was like, would you please dye your beard? Because it's affecting my growth. Really? So, this thing about the Lynn Whitfield. Well, the thing about the world of acting is this, or anything that we do, as you know, what you all see is what I've been awarded or what God blessed me with. What you don't see are the things that I don't get. Wow. The things that I would have wanted to have. Because this business is full of reward if it's working and a lot of disappointment when it's not. So the goal then becomes, how do I keep an open heart?
Yes.
Because without an open heart, I can't do the work that you all expect of me. If I'm walking around like, I ain't get that, well, what is that? And then when they say action, I have nothing to give because I've gotten all stony heart, Right. So the idea of V. Lynn Whitfield is, it's interesting, but we were in the green room and I had on some earrings, shiny, glittery things that happened to be, real. But I was like, should we? I said, should I change? Because I don't want to disappoint them. I want to be, I want to walk out with all the gusto that you expect of me. Because my Southern mother used to say, all right, now, they expect them to see a star. You better not disappoint. I said, well, my mother would say, do these add? And she'd say, That abs, wear that. So I decided to change my. So you don't see all the little insecurities that we all have. No matter camera, no camera, on a show, in front of thousands of people, on the Grammy board, having all of that. There's just always, as you know, all those things. That, the mood is changing. There's always something.
Yeah.
That things that we have to work on that make us.
And I think that's why this conversation is so important, because you have a room full of very noted, wonderful people who are the best in their business. And sometimes we forget that normal life happens to everybody.
Yes. Oh, listen. First of all you women, we have childbirth. Oh my God. But yes, I mean, there's always something. There's always, and even among influential people, that hello, my darling. There are always cliques, and people are always tribes, and among even, very established people, there's always stuff. So there's peer pressure and peer envy, you all know what I'm talking about. There's, health things and, divorces and, so much that we all have to deal with. There are all the things that we experience as little children.
Yes.
Whoever thought we sitting up here all grown, each and every one of us, grown, accomplished, but something that happened when we were 3 or 5, or don't talk about 8, or 10 or 12, that we're still dealing with. Right? Yeah. We are still dealing with it. And guess what? Nobody's alone in that.
Right.
The struggle is real. And you are beautiful. You are beautiful. The struggle is really real to get rid of all those childhood hurts.
Yeah.
To make sense of them, right?
Yes.
To have them not have you answer them. This is what I deal with anyway. Let me share what I read. To have you not answer them by shutting down, by closing up, by reacting. But now what I have that most of you don't have is that I can be insane on purpose and get paid for it. I can have a tantrum on purpose and get paid. I can dance topless in bananas and not be thought of as a loose woman. So, that's the great thing, right? Is that art, which is why I think they should not ever get rid of arts in schools. And looking at this beautiful place and this wonderful artist here, Rico Edwards, who's done this work. Let's give him a hand. Because we need art. Without art, I think I would have been really, really not together. When Grace's father passed, and she was 12, going on to 13, raging hormones already, and then I realized I'm by myself, and she loses her father. Thank God she was smart enough to say, Mom, I want to go to Harlem School for the Arts, because she was, in one of those Upper East Side schools all day, every day, and she said, I want to go there and I want to dance. And dance saved her life. Dance brought her, so that's why, we gotta vote. Gotta keep some kind of arts and things going in schools. Because so arts gives you that way to, when I saw you at, y'all, for those of you who weren't there, is my posture good? I don't know, because these photographs, this man is just photographs.
You look amazing.
Somebody give me the high sign. If it's starting to get... Give me the high sign if it's attractive. You never want to be frozen in time that way. But look here, here's what I wanted to say. Miss Yolanda Adams, for those of you who weren't in the rare air of Tyler Perry's opening of his studio on Sunday morning, and I mean, she had to follow some folk, you know, smoking on the Clarks. She brought the Holy Ghost into the place. You know you did, right?
This is about you today, man.
I can't be on stage with the likes of Yolanda Adams. Yolanda Adams is interviewing me. I have arrived. But I mean, we as women in this, just having to go, I mean, you know, where gospel music becomes, you know, entertainment as well, and going around, you have a double duty task.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And you did it that day.
Yeah. I think we, because we are in the creative space, I think we all have that. Those of us who get the chance to be responsible on television, responsible with masses listening to what we're saying and what we're singing and what we're doing. I think that we all have that. And as ambassadors, both of us, we're believers.
Yes.
We don't just take ourselves into places. We take everything that He is in us into places.
Yes, ma'am.
And sometimes people think that, oh, they just showing up. No, we're showing up with a purpose.
Yes.
You know, and although we're talking about your successes and things like that, as I said before, the one thing that has always really made me so proud whenever I saw you was that, and people throw this term around, that your light was always shining. Your light was always shining no matter where you were. And please don't get it twisted. When I say her light was always shining, she wasn't, and I love God. You don't have to. You don't have to when it comes out of you.
Oh.
We know you love people because it comes out of you. We know that you love what you do because that comes out of you.
I do. And
no matter what you play, Josephine Baker, one of my favorites, the Emmy Award winning Lynn Whitfield, Josephine Baker, ladies and gentlemen. I think that changed the way that we saw you as an actress as well. Because most people did not know about your theater background. They only knew of, when we say actress, we think, just a person on television, a person in movies. No, this is a dancing, singing, phenomenal woman. And you showed us your range at that time, because it's like, whoa, okay, now I can't do the bananas, but I'm going to dance class. So you and Grace's dad really did that project together. Can we hear a little bit more about Josephine Baker, and then we'll move on a little?
Well, it was such, I was so hungry for something that would let people see that I could do it. And it had been, the Women of Brewster Place and Silverado and Dr. Detroit was my first project where I had to tell my Southern mother, well, I got my first movie and I'm playing a prostitute. And so thrilled to do it, thank you. But it was a charming thing and all of that. But Josephine Baker, so when Josephine Baker came, after all of that stuff, I knew that was my opportunity to really seize a moment. And that audition process went on for about 7 months. After I had produced my own audition tape Because they'll have you come in, well, they used to have you come in, now you just send it on your phone. It's awful. How did you know you can act on a damn phone? Doggone, excuse my language, I'm a Louisiana woman, but it gets loose sometimes. So it went on for 7 months. So after I absolutely produced my own tape and then went in 4 more times after that, and had to sing, had to dance, had to, all of it. And they said, "You're amazing." The director, Grace's dad, then walked up to me and said, "You have done marvelous job. You have, my dear. And now we're moving on to New York and London to see more, but we will get back to you." I wanted to beat him with a stick. I'm like, what? And so they went to all those places and they distilled it down to Diane Carroll was going to play the more mature Josephine. Mm-hmm. Can we just give Diane Carroll?
Oh my God! Yes.
For representing us so well through Julia and through everything, Dynasty, and making a way and paving a way for Hallie, for Carrie, for me to actually be a woman of sophistication and all that. I'm so grateful, and they've asked me to participate in the memorial, and I feel so honored by that. Yes. But so it was terrible. So 6 months later, they came back and said they want you to go in again. I said, I am not going to see those people. I'm not going to be, because I was crying. I was so sad. I went to the Mondrian. They used to have jazz in the Mondrian, remember?
Yes.
Girl, I sat there and drank so much wine. And they didn't understand because I wasn't the Lynn Whitfield yet. So I could just sit there and it was bad. But guess what? I never put my research materials up.
Wow.
I kept them on my coffee table. And I just said, I just don't feel this. Mm-hmm. So when they came back, I did a few more screen tests. I would not go to their office. I said, they have to meet me in a restaurant. Mm-hmm. Reuben Cannon came back and said, she can do it. So there you go. So did it. Went to Budapest, had all these months of preparations, fell in love with the director, did not have sex with him, I might add. Yay! Because I couldn't give away my power as a woman like that.
Exactly.
And even at that age, I knew that would be a mistake. I couldn't do that. It would be, really detrimental to the part. But what happened was, so then they were editing in London, so we went right to London and got married right away. And we should have waited. Because, in movies, you the director's there to protect your performance, and the actress is there to realize the vision of the director and her own. So when he says action, I talk, and when he says cut, I'm quiet. Mm-hmm. But that does not work in a marriage. We know that. That doesn't work. Yolanda, does that work? No. But I had this beautiful daughter who Kevin knows well, David knows well, and who's a beautiful artist in her own right. And just the whole experience was a blessing and made me a better person.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. In the acting industry, you have to deal with rejection. You talked a little bit about that. Mm-hmm. What role didn't you get that you thought you should have gotten as a result of trying out for something and you're like, no, that's my role?
Sometimes I felt that way, and then I saw what an actress did with it and realized, no, that was her role.
Right.
That was her role. That was not my role. And then, of course, I would not commit career suicide by telling you the ones where I know they made a damn mistake.
No, well, Okay, we're not gonna say mistake. Let me reread. No, let me read.
But you know what I mean, like things
Yes.
that I feel like I would have brought an interpretation, because it's so much about interpretation, you know, that would have been more valid or more entertaining or more of many things. But you know, I have respect for my peers.
Oh, definitely.
And so, you know, I choose not to kind of say that. But you know, the thing is that it doesn't always have to be a role where they were looking for a black woman.
Exactly. No, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I guess, like, you know, the feud that was so good, the story of Betty Davis and Joan Crawford. But I guess I couldn't be. I guess I couldn't be Betty.
I think you could. I think you just, you know.
Well, whatever. She went to the south of France and got a tan.
I love that. Okay, if you could create a role for yourself, the ultimate role for yourself, what character would you be, or how would you fashion that role?
Okay. Well, I think I'd have to answer that question in different genres. In terms of a historical project, there's a place called Storyville, which was the first legalized red light district in the United States. Honey, there's a madam who killed a game. And I would love to play Lulu White.
Lulu White. Wow.
One, because it's culturally significant to me, because I haven't seen Louisiana represented in a way that I know it. Two, because it was the, you know, even though, you know, we have so many racial issues, social justice issues and all of that, but it was the place of the first free people of color, the gens de couleur libre, right? And women of color have had a lot of power down there for a long time. And she was wielding so much power, and it you know, gets into the music, it gets into the culture of it all, the music, the laissez-les bon temps rouler, let the good times roll of it all. And honestly, I don't know, when you look at it back in those days, so we can't always judge women. I mean, if you weren't born to wealthy parents, then you couldn't just go and start up your own business. I mean, you couldn't just go and, you know, send yourself to university. You probably just had to work for somebody else. Or work in somebody's home, right?
Yes.
So the sale of sex and all that, it was more than that. It was a whole cultural thing. And out of that movement of Storyville came, you know, when they shut it down, there came laundromats and restaurants and all of those kinds of things. So they were able to have businesses. And so that's one thing. That's a historical project that I want to do.
All right.
And then I would love to do a romantic comedy of you know, people of a certain age, you know, because it is funny when old people try to get together. It's I got an amen over here. Amen. So, you know, because, you know, when older people try to get together, it's not just baggage, it's like trunks of stuff. I'm like, no, don't come with me dragging no big old trunks and stuff, trying to get me to fold up whatever's in there. Then look at me. I can't do it. I am not making it look neat. So a romantic comedy, because I think that would be really funny. I won't give all my gags away because I know they're filming this, and I am not, as some other actress goes and tries to do. And then the other thing I would like to do is do some kind of intergalactic, supernatural, space character, you know, cat woman in a geriatrics ward. Can I please still be able to get in the cat suit? No, but I think I could be a queen of some planet or you know, I can do that transatlantic accent. That's all. Whoa, yeah. But come out, take his head. Take him away. I want to do something like that. So those are the three areas: romantic comedy, the historical piece, and
Sci-fi.
and Lord have mercy, please bring me some B12. Because, you know, we need time. I need time. Yolanda, don't we need time?
Yeah.
Time is our friend.
Yes.
It takes a long time to make a movie. So, you know, just staying healthy.
Yes. 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 Speaking of ageism in film, I mean, we see that you were just talking earlier about going from the ingenue to the siren to the this and then the matriarch and then all of this other stuff, where a Robert Redford can still be, a Paul Newman can still be at 80, almost 90, the mule.
Yes.
You know, and you have these 20-year-olds looking at him like, old man.
I know, but
It's like-
but the leading ladies get younger and they get older.
Exactly.
You know, so, but there's a lot of ageism and you know and gender bias that way, you know, around and I think even more particularly for Black women and Black actresses, because I just think, I don't know, they feel like, you know, you turn 40, you turn 50, and all of a sudden you're not sex anymore. No!
Right.
I refuse to, no, I won't go for that.
Right.
Sensuality and femininity and all of that does not go away. Listen,
Ever.
when I read the description of Lady May, oh my God, this is the matriarch of this family who's just, and all I could see was like some kind of, excuse me, I don't know if anybody in here is one, but like a Jehovah's Witness long skirt and some bad shoes. I'm sorry.
Some bad shoes.
And you know, like a little bun and like she was sitting at the, what are you doing? Right. What? And I said, no. Right. These Southern women, you obviously don't know.
Right. They're
Southern women, but
right.
they don't go down that way. They find it back like a brush fire.
Yes.
And so, you know, so we started shaving. I said, well, what would you have her wear? They said, well, we were thinking a lot of St. John. I said, no. Come on.
Right.
Because these first ladies now have stylists.
What? Chanel?
We were just talking about the style that we don't want to deal with. We're not.
love you so much.
Okay, I'm not gonna say it out loud. Okay. See, I would say it out loud, but I won't betray your company. No. No, but what, you know, so I had to force that she would wear beautiful negligees, because that's what you know, I pushed that. I said, Jesus loves cleavage. What's wrong? Jesus made cleavage. He made it. This belongs to God. And then when they saw a little bit of it, then they started when they saw it, then they started to get, they said, and then I didn't have to say anymore.
Right.
Then the writers were writing and the costumers were costuming, but I had to push that a mother, grandmother, first lady was not going to be some asexual kind of, you know, all dried up kind of chick. I mean, that wouldn't have been entertaining, right?
And it wouldn't be real.
No.
It wouldn't be real. You know,
No.
I think what tends to happen, you have the wrong people writing. And I mean the wrong people, WRITING.
Yes.
You can't have a 25-year-old who has not experienced life write for a supposed 50-year-old who is the the first lady of a church.
Right.
They don't know that dynamic.
But you know, in this, I knew because the writer said, listen, we don't know, so it's going to be an exchange.
Gotcha.
So they were open.
Okay, good.
But then, when the first line that a character has of any substance is to look in her daughter's eyes and say, promise me you're not here to sow discord in the fields of my peace, they knew something. But they just didn't know it all the way. They didn't know the fulsome nature of what I saw, which is what art is about, the collaboration of it all, you know, which is what makes it so much fun. But then everybody, you know, got on board and I don't have to say anything. And I'm like, now it's to the point where I say, do you think she would really say that? They said, of course. I mean, they had a line that said, you know, when after we do this and after we do that, I'm divorcing your black ass. I said, oh my God. I said, do you think she would say that?
Yes.
And they said, yeah. So I was saying it really nice and all that. They said, no, let him have it. Well, when that show aired, look at Yolanda.
No,
Look
like-
at Yolanda.
No.
But still, though, Twitter lit up like crazy. They went crazy. It was because it was real.
Right.
Because women who have helped to grow a man and grow his business and do all of that, and then some young chick is sitting up on your man's desk. That doesn't work. You're not gonna get your best outcomes that way.
She may not get out of the office.
Well, but then it's television, the drama must go on. So anyway, you know, so they started to know and started pushing me to be more, because I'm also very protective of the women I play, in that they always have the integrity that they should have, which doesn't mean they don't make mistakes.
Exactly. Since we're talking about Twitter and Facebook, social media in general, had a lot to do with the popularity of Greenleaf.
Oh my goodness. For those of you who live tweet with us, those of you who've watched and supported for 4 seasons, now they don't have to wait for ratings. Now they can say, oh, Greenleaf was trending #1 in this particular, the metrics of it all, so they can actually see. Not to mention that sometimes Lady Mae was just trending over it all. But because of you, because of your participation and supporting us, they could actually see those numbers and see what we were doing. And you know what? The writers could see what is working. They could see from your responses. They could see what rang true, what was authentic, what was, you know. And so in everything, all of our programming now, we need you all to support, to write about it, tweet about it. It's so very important. And I want to tell you, I appreciate you all so much. You should give yourselves a hand for being so, you know, loyal and supporting all of our shows. I mean, if it's Empire or if it's Scandal or whatever it is, we all need your participation in saying, absolutely, we want to see this on television. And it just doesn't happen without you, because now they can see the numbers.
Yeah. Well, we have some fan questions.
We do?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, you have fans from, you know. Me, #1. I'm not fighting anybody in the room. I'm the #1 fan. Everybody else, stand in line. Everybody's over here like, oh, so you're gonna look at us this time. And talk to us like that? No, thank you, ma'am. No, but in what ways, since we're talking about Lady Mae, what ways are you most like her? And then what ways are you least like her?
Well, I have a daughter named Grace, and we have a fabulous relationship.
Yes.
You know, I love her. She's, you know, my dear friend when she's fabulous, and she's my daughter when she meets. No, but she's been texting. She said, "Mom, do you want me to come and support?" Or, you know, sending word to Kim. Well, listen, we need the photos. We need photo approval for those things. And I want to, you know, sing, you know, kind of taking care of our mom. So I love her. So that is a way that I'm definitely not like Lady May. But I think that I really have values in some areas that are like her, the importance of family and people sticking together, even though it's really hard. How I am trying not to be like Lady May is to not be in denial about things that could be harmful, things that aren't attractive, things that we as, you know, Black people don't want to have out in the open, to air out dirty laundry, to not look at ourselves honestly and say, look, this is who I am, accept me for who I am. Okay, so that I'm battling with. I'm battling with that, you know, with family, with, you know, to actually not be a person in denial, not be a person who's ashamed, not be a person who, and that's hard because I think ingrained in us a long time ago was that we've got to fit in and we've got to show white people that we're as good as they are or better than they are. And sometimes I feel like I'm, you know, answering that. And so I try to take myself through a litmus test to say, am I doing that? You know, or am I? So that is like one of her flaws that I'm working with.
Okay, very good. Wow, that was good.
Y'all don't want to clap for that?
Oh, yeah.
That was good. I like that.
Oh, that's all right. I don't need applause.
It's okay. But we don't really look at our lives like that. We have a history of trying to be better than everybody because for so long we were told we weren't better than everybody. And we find ourselves, like you said, the 3-year-old kid or the 8-year-old kid, you know, you know, you'll never be this or you'll never be that. And so we set out to prove, oh yeah, I'm going to be this and more.
Yeah.
And then we lose ourselves.
Some kind of
there.
authenticity of that. Because I think somewhere deep in, you know, even now, even with all these influencers and, you know, accomplished, even no matter what, there's still something that every now and then I know that there's this little thing around that's saying, we're as good as white people.
Right.
I can be as successful as white people.
Right.
I can be, there's something, I can't put my finger on what it is. But I'm just trying to figure it out, not for the race. I'm not one of those people trying to solve it all for all y'all. I have no authority over trying to fix your demons. I'm just, no. Can't accept all that responsibility. I'm just trying to figure it out for myself.
Right, yes.
To be sure that I am not, that is not some little fear, some little thing that's back whispering in my, where I'm adjusting my behavior, you know? Say, like Ta-Nehisi Coates, I just did a reading of his stuff in Symphony Hall in Atlanta and in Apollo with a whole bunch of other actors. And he has this thing where he's talking to his son and he said, I never wanted you to be twice as good as them. I wanted you to accept and be comfortable with your long arms and your bright smile and that, because it is, you know, we've always been told we have to be twice as good as them.
Right.
But then that makes us a response to them, because who knows, we might have been 150 times better than them. Because I mean, the pyramids were built in Africa.
Right.
So, you know, I don't know, you know, but I this is something that I am
but it's honest.
fooling with myself, that I think will strip something away to make me more authentic.
Wow. Well, I think you're pretty authentic, and I think you're pretty cool. Last question, because Kim is giving me the high. She's not giving me the high sign. She's giving me the sign.
That's
I love you,
right.
Kim. Kim Gagne in the house. There are. Thank you for laughing. Every woman in here who has ever watched you, we've always admired this regal look and presence that you bring every time we see you. There have been at least 600 women. Thank you, Siri. There have been at least 600 women who want to know your beauty regimen. I got it here. What does that say?
Really?
Fan Q&A, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Since I was in my 20s, I've always gone to Korean spas. And I've always gotten body scrubs. So, because listen, we do not need that top skin staying on. It just gets all old and dirty, and as it piles up, it can make wrinkles, and it gets big and all. So I've always exfoliated, and then when I can remember, because I'm not a really fussy. I don't like sitting for manicures. I don't like any of that. I know I look like I should like it, but I don't really enjoy like people like and doing all that stuff. I like deep massage. I don't like the fancy. I don't need crystal. I need a good strong massage. So I've always exfoliated, and I honestly think that has a lot to do with it. I'm not as great at exercise as I should be, but I try not to let things make me contort my spirit.
Oh, wow. Awesome. That's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if it gets that bad, I need to go. If I'm going to be just fighting and fussing and, you know what I mean? And just get all, if it makes me like, that can't make us attractive. So I try not to do that, and some of it is like a God thing,
Yes,
because if you keep like loving people and all that, and then I don't know, and then I think my work, because I love it so much, and I'm still excited.
Yes.
So I just stay excited, because don't believe IMDb, but the numbers are adding up, but I still feel like young and fun.
Yeah. You are young and fun. Ladies and gentlemen. You're amazing. You're amazing. Thank you so much.
Can I say one more thing? I'm just seeing all these people I know. Hi, Janine. Oh yes, and all y'all back there too. So the one thing I want to say is that I am so grateful to Kevin Watson, to David Black, to Rico Edwards, the artist that you see here. And what I'm happy about is, I was saying today that it used to be we would all gather in a church and we would sit and share ideas and talk and do stuff, and but now we can do it in this art gallery. We can see young people's work in this art gallery. The artists we don't know, maybe invest in some art that's worth tons of money one day. And so I just want everyone to support the gallery. You can have events here. You can come and see great art here. And I just really feel that the energy in the space is amazing. Yes. And here you are. So I want you to come up and just thank you for creating a space for creation. And thank you for asking me questions that I can handle.
You are hilarious. Now, y'all know I love this, right? Because I get paid to talk for a living. So this was real easy. Really, really easy. The one and only, again, Miss Lynn Whitfield.